state competition by the time we're done tonight. Tonight's competition is in 3 rounds, all right? Round 1, 10 multiple choice quiz questions, racing the clock with 30 seconds to answer each question. I will read the question, then our kids will have 30 seconds to answer that question. Round 2, 10 more challenging multi-choice quiz questions, racing the clock once again with 30 seconds to answer each. We'll have a little bit of a break between round 1 and round 2 while we tabulate the scores. The top 5 after the first 2 rounds will move on to round 3. Rounds 1 and 2 pitch a brief. They will then, in round 3, pitch a brief summary of their essay idea. Then respond to judges' questions, probing for details and clarity. That's why the judges, they have their work cut out for them. They have to know each and every essay and then ask the pertinent questions to bring it out of the kids, all right? And then we will tabulate, take another little bit of a break, tabulate the results. We'll have a first place winner who will receive a $500 cash prize, not bad. Second place winner, $250 cash prize. And our third place winner will receive a $125 cash prize. And as was mentioned earlier, all of them get to keep the tablets that are in front of them. And of course, first, second, and third place winners will be invited to participate in the Colorado State competition on May 19th. All right, that's the preliminaries. Are we ready to go? Huh? Kids, are you ready to go? Yeah, there you go, okay. We could go. All right, let's start with round 1.
Hold on.
Talking is much easier than doing, so I'm glad I'm standing up here. It'd be the same result if I was down there, trust me. Worse, it'd be worse. We'd be calling the Geek Squad or something.
Just real quick, just so everybody knows how it's going to work, is how we think it's going to work. The question and the answers will pop up on the screen. Dan will read them along with the answers. As soon as he finishes answer number 3, the timer will start for 30 seconds. They'll have 30 seconds to complete their answer, and then we'll move on to the next question. Okay? Now keep your fingers crossed.
Round 1. Here we go, kids. Passed by Congress on May 13th, 1912, and ratified on April 8th, 1913, the blank amendment modified Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution by allowing voters to...
Oh, nope. Wait, there we go.
Cast as many votes as they want. To allow voters to cast direct votes for U.S. senators. That blank is 17th, 18th, 19th, or 20th. 30 seconds.
All right. You ready to answer? Okay. So it reads it and then it'll let you answer. This is a great learning experience for all. So that one.
Question 1, we got to get the tech stuff figured out.
Oh, now it's working. All right. Yeah. Was everybody else able to submit an answer? So far?
Very good.
Okay.
Moving on to question 2.
Okay, are we good now to go to...
No, we're getting, this is question 2. Okay?
Yeah, I was just making sure the kids, is everybody's tablet?
Yeah, everyone's tablet's working. Question 1 in the books.
1 second over here. Thank you for being patient.
We should be ready for the next question. Okay,
here we go.
we should be good.
All right. Question number 2. In an exit poll, voters are questioned about voting behaviors when leaving the polling place, exiting their cars, entering the polling place, entering the voting booth. 30 seconds. In an exit poll, voters are questioned about voting behaviors when blank. Two and one. Moving on to question 3. What is patriotism? Betraying your country? Moving to a new country? Having no opinion about your country? Loving your country? What is patriotism? 30 seconds starts now. Two and one. Time is up. Next question. Blank can refuse to send funds to other nations. Is that blank Congress, the Supreme Court, the states, or governors? 30 seconds begins now. Two and one. Next question. Blank is feeling that a person can have an impact on government and policy. Is that blank party platform? Political efficacy? My teeth got in the way. Exit polling? Popular sovereignty? Party platform? Efficacy? 30 seconds starts now. Three, two, and one. Next question. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. The Constitution establishes the freedom of speech, but which branch has decided what is and is not protected speech? Legislative, executive, judicial, military. 30 seconds from now. Three, two, and one. Next question. What is the constitutional protection against double jeopardy? A person cannot serve in 2 houses of Congress. A president can only be elected twice. A person cannot be tried for the same crime twice. A president cannot serve in any other office after his term. What is the constitutional protection? 30 seconds. Against double jeopardy. Three, two, and one. Next question. Where would you find the following text in the U.S. Constitution? No law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall have intervened. Preamble, Articles, Bill of Rights, additional amendments 11 through the 27th. 30 seconds from now. Time's up. Next question. In a parliamentary system, the prime minister is the leader elected by the voters of the majority party, appointed by the king of the Supreme Court. In 2, 1, 30 seconds. In a parliamentary system, the prime minister is the leader blank. Three, two, and one. Time is up. Next question. Where would you find the following text in the U.S. Constitution? The validity of the public debt of the United States, authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment, or Article 3. Your 30 seconds starts now. Where would you find the following text in the U.S. Constitution? The validity of the public debt of the United States, authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties. 4, and time is up. Moving on to round 2, our questions get progressively more difficult. Round 2. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons 3/5 of all other persons. This text, which has been amended, established the blank compromise. Slavery, 3/5, enfranchised, Article 1. 30 seconds from now. 3, 2, and 1. Time is up. During the policy-making process, when a plan of action is executed by an agency or agencies, what important step has taken place? Policy formulation, policy implementation, policy adoption, agenda setting. What important step has taken place? 30 seconds. Two and 1. Time is up. Our next question. Blank is an essential part of a successful functioning government. A king, law based on a holy text, the authority to enforce laws, a vast population. 30 seconds from now. Blank is an essential part of a successful functioning government. Two and 1. Next question in round 2. Where would you find the following text in the U.S. Constitution? The Congress shall have power to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Article 1, Article 2, Article 6, First Amendment. 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Where would you find the following text in the U.S. Constitution? The Congress shall have power to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Three, 2, and 1. Time is up. Next question. Approved on February 4th, 1887, the blank created an agency to oversee the conduct of the railroad industry. With this act, the railroads became the first industry subject to federal regulation. Interstate Commerce Act, Chinese Exclusion Act, Dawes Act, the Sherman Antitrust Act. "30 seconds begins now. Approved on February 4th, 1887, the blank created an agency to oversee the conduct of the railroad industry. With this act, the railroads became the first industry subject to federal regulation. Three, 2, and 1. Time is up. How does the nomination process contribute to intra-party conflict? By placing members of the same party against each other, by placing members of one party against members of another party, by drawing attention to important controversial issues that the major parties may have ignored, or by refusing to fund certain candidates for national elections. 30 seconds to answer that question begins now. How does the nomination process contribute to intra-party conflict. Three, two, and one. Next question. Diplomacy between the U.S. and other nations begins with Congress, diplomats, the Supreme Court, foreign spies. You have 30 seconds. Starting now. Diplomacy between the U.S. and other nations begins with blank. Two and one. Next question. The amendments in the Bill of Rights were added in 1776, 1787, 1791, 1801. "30 seconds from now. The amendments in the Bill of Rights were added in 2 and 1. Time is up. Next question. Referencing the Declaration of Independence, this 1848 document was a bold statement on the equality of women. The Articles of Confederation, the Declaration of Sentiments, the Bill of Rights, the U.S. Constitution. 2 and 1. Referencing the Declaration of Independence, this 1848 document was a bold statement on the equality of women. Two and 1. Time is up. In this election year, former President Theodore Roosevelt ran as a Progressive Party candidate, but lost to Woodrow Wilson. 1860, 1880, 1884, 1912. 30 seconds from now. In this election year, former President Theodore Roosevelt ran as a Progressive Party candidate, but lost to Woodrow Wilson. Three, two, one. Time is up. Okay. We need to take a break and do some tabulations.
Yeah, just amongst yourselves. Just
You bet. We're going to do some tabulations, and we're going to see if indeed a tiebreaker round is needed.
Have fun at the tables for a minute.
Remember, the top 5 of the 20 before you will move on to round 3. Yeah, feel free, stand up, do some stretching. Kids, you're the same.
I realized. I think I got a 5 out of 20. I hope I can get it up there. Something like this.
That's winning. Educated guessing. I played the game. I did actually. I don't think there are scores.
Here's the other question too. Those 2 are tied for second. These 4 are tied for third. So all of
You
these
got
will go
1,
in.
2, 3. You need to get 2 of these.
Nope. Yeah, at least 2 of these 4 need to go. So is that a tiebreaker? Where's the
You need these 2. And you'll take the 2 highest of these 2.
got a friend that all of these are the same.
1, 2, 3. There's your top 3.
Well, but these 2 are also 14.
That makes no difference. It makes no difference. There's your top 3.
We need 2 of those.
2 of these.
Those 4
These 4 are the tiebreaker.
But how is our tiebreaker set up? To let 1 go through or to let 2 go through?
You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Right?
I don't know how.
Yeah. You're going to have just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So
Your
if we
question.
So that's the question.
What if you have a tie after the tiebreaker? That's the question.
That's the question. So we need 2 of these 4 to go through. There's another tie. The tiebreaker is
We'll
made
cross
by
that. I'll ask him a question. Jump through this hoop.
might be 2 tiebreaker rounds.
Oh, there's Hillary. Like, where's Hillary?
Couple of them.
Number 1, number 2 and 3. These 4. Those 4 need to get to the 3 tiebreaker. It's going to be a quiz and only those 4 answers. Okay.
And hopefully, we'll have just 2 of those. I mean, there won't be another tie.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
If there is another tie, then we can have an extra 3 votes on round 3. Still tied.
I think cross that it is because then there's more chance that we'll get
That's 6.
You know what? I don't want to be telling you. I want to.
Because you're going to end up with 3 anyway.
Like go sit back down.
We have a tiebreaker between. Do I go ahead and say 1, 2, 3? We have our top 3. And then our tiebreaker is between Joseph Trexler, Morgan Harmon, Danny McGrath, and Paige Grant.
Brady, keep your fingers crossed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take our seats as we move on to the tiebreaker. We have a tiebreaker between 4 students. 4 students. We have our top 3, okay? Maya Lyle, Andy Quillico, and Amberlyn Leon. 1, 2, 3. Not necessarily in that order. That's our top 3. Not in that order. Then we had 1, 2, 3, 4 that's tied for 4th and 5th, as we're looking for 5 kids. So we have these 4 students in our tiebreaker. Joseph Drexler, Morgan Arnold, Danny McGrath, and Paige Landers. Maya, Andy, Aberlin, they're going to move on to round 3. 2 of the 4 I just mentioned will move on to round 3 as well. Here's our tiebreaker, I believe, consisting of 3 questions. Question number 1 for you 4 individuals. Which law was an infringement on the First Amendment rights of many Americans? The Naturalization Law, Sedition Act, Espionage Act, the Smith Act. You have 30 seconds from now. Which law was an infringement on the First Amendment rights of many Americans? Two and 1. Time is up. Tiebreaker question number 2. What principles do the Magna Carta, the Petition of Right, and the English Bill of Rights have in common? Limited government, trial by jury, due process of law, right to bear arms, trial by jury, limited government, due process of law, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, limited government, due process of law. 30 seconds for tiebreaker question number 2 from now. What principles do the Magna Carta, the Petition of Right, and the English Bill of Rights have in common? Three, 2, and 1. And tiebreaker question number 3. Which of the following is considered furthest to the left on the political spectrum? Democrats, Libertarians, Republicans, Socialists. 30 seconds from now. Which is considered furthest to the left on the political spectrum? Two and 1. Time is up. That does it for our tiebreaker. Again, take just a moment to determine which of the 4 individuals will be moving on to round 3 and joining Maya Lyle, Andy Quilico, and Eberlyn Leon.
Go ahead and chat in just a second.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Rhode Island. It's neither a road nor an island. Discuss.
fifth. That's an impossible question. 1972, Richard Milhouse makes it.
I mean, it's only a few more. Yeah, it's totally up to you.
Okay with you? Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have 6.
We're gonna have 7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4.
They moved up, but the other three didn't get any of the tiebreakers right, so they're still tied.
So we're going to go with all of them
Yep.
for round 3. Very good. Very good.
Because this would have been
All right, folks.
different. I need to.
All right. We have the results of the tiebreaker questions. The question is, when you have 7 kids vying for the top 5 spots, and you go to a tiebreaker, and then you have a tie after the tiebreaker, what do? You let all 7 move on to round 3. Our 7 contestants: Paige Landers, Danny McGrath, Morgan Arnold, Joseph Drexler, Eberlyn Leon, Andy Quilico, and Maya Lyle will all move on to the 3rd round.
Okay, now it's time for our judges to kick in and go to work. So yeah, they're thrown off a little bit by the additional 2 that'll be in round 3, but we all know they're awesome and they're gonna figure it out. So yeah, you guys ready? Do you want to peek real quick? Well, I guess you did that already. You just heard the 7 winners, so everybody. Each judge was assigned a certain amount. We had 20 essays to be for them to take a look at, and so we divvied that up. So there was a lead judge for 5 essays. There's a lead judge. So I'm gonna pass this on to them because they seem to know better what's going on than I do. I think we're ready for round 3. You guys ready? I'll call them up? Okay, awesome.
Do you need the
We're gonna go
paper?
up there. You can call them up. Do you want me to call them up? Call them up. Take this for them if you don't need to. So they can have that up.
They're going to be up here on stage.
Do you have the list still, Dan?
All right. Contestants, when I call your name, come up here to the stage, and we will proceed with round 3. Maya Lyle. Maya.
Should I read my summary?
You can give them your 3.
Oh,
Introduce
okay.
yourself and give them the 3 sentences.
My name is Maya Lyle, and I wrote about the difficulty of rapid growth because it is a real problem that affects everyone in the town by increasing the cost of housing, creating more traffic, and reducing the food supply, partly because of the tourists in the summer. Locals and tourists can benefit from solving these problems. After all, we need to support the tourists because the Ark Valley Voice website shows that tourists have spent about $128 million just in the past year. The best solutions for this problem are to open more job opportunities for the incoming people and use them to help expand the town, create more housing, build bigger grocery stores, and the roads can be altered to prevent traffic issues.
And who was the lead judge? That's Blake?
Yep.
Thank you, Blake.
Yes. Hi, Maya. Thank you for coming tonight and strong work in rounds 1 and 2. My question to you is your solution, one of your solutions to rapid growth is a larger year-round economy. So my question to you is, what is the biggest challenge to creating a larger year-round economy?
I would say finding the land for housing, stores, and roads. We can talk to the Colorado Department of Transportation to get the land for roads, and we can also build more higher density housing and make it more affordable so that more people can live there.
How can we attract bigger stores to come to Buena Vista?
I would say if we got more people to live in the town, they could support the bigger stores, and then they would have more customers so that they could stay in the town and not shut down.
So what kind of jobs do you think we need to add here? Is it just retail, or are there other things that would be beneficial for the town to make the economy better?
I would say more people in the housing industry, like to build more, and I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Maya? Okay, Maya, awesome. Give her a round of applause. They took on some great issues. You got that?
Next up, we have Andy Quilico.
Hi, my name is Andy Quilico, and the challenge that I took on for the Civics Bee was the teen involvement in local civics. So I have recognized that many boards in our town are constantly looking for more involvement from our citizens. I think one solution to help this would be to have teens more involved. According to youth.gov, getting kids involved in civics at a young age will help them give more creative and innovative solutions to the issues our town faces. It will give them a deeper look into their duty as a person in their community, and it will give them more confidence to serve when they're an adult.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah. Do you know whether there is a process now for young people to be able to come before the Board of Trustees and give us your opinion?
I do not know of any towns that have been doing this, but I do have some ideas on that too.
Would you like to share those ideas?
Yeah, so one of my ideas is to have a small group of teens, some of these people too because they're wonderful, and have them get together, and we would meet with certain members from boards, and they would bring us their issues, and we as a group would help come up with creative solutions that we think would work in our community.
Thank you.
Hey, Andy.
Hi.
What barriers do you see to youth wanting to get involved in local government?
So I think that some people have argued that kids, their brains aren't developed yet. So like some of their senses aren't fully developed. So it could be a little challenging, and some younger kids are harder to work with, but I think that if we get them together and we all work on it and we all learn, it's all a learning experience for all. So we just would all learn more about civics and government.
Okay, Andy, if you could get involved in one place, where would it be?
I think that a lot of decisions involving the school are often made by adults but directly affect us kids at school. So I think that if kids had a better say in what happens at our school and decisions made about our school would help.
Give her a round of applause.
Our next contestant is Aberlyn Leon.
Hi, my name is Aberlyn Leon, and the community problem that I am addressing is that BV no longer has a free drop-off location for recycling ever since Angel of Chavano closed, which creates inequality for our citizens, and it means more recycling ends up in our landfills. In order to fix this problem, the community could petition the town of Buena Vista to apply for grants to create their own new recycling center. Or, my idea is to create a volunteer-based system in which volunteer citizens take loads of recycling to other cities when they're already making a trip to the Front Range. The volunteer-based system could charge $5 a bag to help cover gas costs, and the community could demonstrate their civic responsibility by donating their time or city market fuel points to make the new system a success.
All right.
Thank you, Aberlyn. I had a question for you about if people from Buena Vista were carrying their recycling to another city, in the receiving city, who would it bother and whose permission would be needed to be able to do that?
I think that you would have to have the permission of the city or the recycling center that you would be going to, and it might affect people in the city because they might feel that it is unfair that outside towns are getting to bring their recycling to their city where they should have, like, I don't know, like first come, first served.
Thank you. Which government could develop incentives? One of your ideas is that people should be able to develop ways of using more recycled materials in producing new goods. So can you think of any ways that we could have incentives for companies to take on that challenge?
Well, another one of my ideas was to create, for the state of Colorado, to create a contest for inventors to create new ideas to make like recycled products. So they could make the products and then like almost like sell it through a company.
Good, thank you.
Hi, Aberlyn. Your proposal looks at things from the point of consumption and then on down. What about slowing kind of the flood on the front end? Have you thought about any other ideas to make less of it come into the stream itself? And what would you do for something like that, either to incentivize or penalize consumption?
I haven't really thought about that, but if we just like slow down our like production of recycling and we just make less stuff that has to be recycled, like in general. I mean, recycling is good and like not stuff for like going into the landfill. But if we just like slow down making products in general and just reuse what we already have, I think that would help.
That's good. I was thinking of also just a bag tax or something like that that you might use for something else. That might be another thought. Okay, thank you.
what branch of the town do you see this falling under? Is it just voluntary, or would someone leave this up?
I feel like it would have to do a lot with volunteering, but I could also go to the Buena Vista Board of Trustees to see if they will help with funding or help get the idea started.
And give her a round of applause. I told you they're awesome.
Thank you, Aderlin. Our next contestant to come up, Joseph Drexler.
Hi, my name is Joseph Drexler, and the thing I did was the problem with housing in our community. There are so many great things about our town, but it's really hard to find affordable housing. Our policemen, firefighters, librarians, and teachers cannot find housing where I live because, as pointed out in a recent study by Chaffey County, over 20% of homes are second homes, and very few apartments, condominiums, and other dense developments exist. However, we can help by supporting organizations like Chaffey County Housing Authority and Elevation Land Trust, or by educating the public so that they can make informed decisions that will promote affordable housing.
All right.
Hey Joseph, thank you for your essay. It was very well thought out. The question I have for you had lots of good ideas in there, and some of them were talking about putting a cap on renters and housing resale values. How do you think homeowners and maybe the town in general, what opposition do you think that would come under?
I think that some of the opposition that we would need to, that would really be happening would be people we would need to get developers into this, and sometimes developers could possibly lose money in this, and therefore they might not want to do it. Other people would be if we had to put restrictions on them and their rights might be slightly infringed on homeowners, they might be mad about that. And one other people group that I think might not love it would be people the people that don't love the look of dense developments. However, I think dense developments, they save land out in the wild because they're using up as much space as possible. And so therefore they're saving land out in the wild. And I just think it's probably better for the common good.
Good, thank you.
Joseph, do you have any idea how we can influence second homeowners to rent out their homes long term?
Possibly putting more restrictions in place of second homeowners, and maybe doing that. Or one other idea that I had was just to maybe put some sort of incentive to be long-term rentals, I don't know, less taxes on your housing if you're long-term renting compared to short-term renting.
All right.
Hey Joseph, good topic. Definitely a contemporary issue here in Buena Vista. Building the housing, it can create a double-edged sword of who's going to build the houses if there's nowhere for people to live. Where are the house builders going to stay?
I think the people that are going to build the houses would be the developers. We would need to contact people like Fading West, or Scott Simmons, the director of development for Fading West. I talked to him. Maybe one thing that we could do to really incentivize the directors is putting incentives and stuff so that when the directors really tax breaks or something on the directors if they build more dense developments in areas.
Any other judges? All right, big round of applause. Who knew? All we needed to do was call up these kids and we had all the solutions.
8th, 7th, and 6th graders. I was still eating paste in 6th grade. And look what we got. Goodness gracious. Our next contestant, Morgan Arnold.
Hello, my name is Morgan Arnold, and my topic is about vaping in today's schools. The reason I chose this topic is because I have seen many people, including a lot of my friends, fall into the deep hole of just being addicted because of vaping, and it hurts me to see this every day. And I think we can fix it by doing urinalysis testing throughout the schools. The people that will benefit from the testing will be the kids that are vaping because it'll encourage them not to, and other schools around us because it'll encourage them to also do this as well to end vaping pretty much. And I chose this for a school
You're okay, hon. You're good.
Okay. Other schools. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm really sorry.
You're doing great.
It'll encourage other schools to end this as well because between our school and Salida schools, just in the middle school, we did a survey recently, and it said that 21% of us have been vaping in the last 30 days, and that is 1 in 4 students. And the state average for Colorado is 26%, and that's just actually really sad. And we can solve this issue by randomly testing students that have recently been caught. And to pay for this, we can ask for a grant, or we can talk to the Colorado Department of Education to help as well.
All right.
This was a popular topic, and it was a matter at the town trustees meeting just a week ago, I think, related to this. I think Dean was speaking to that as well. So it's an important topic. I think that there might be some potential opposition to drug testing. Did you think about how you might handle that, either it's from parents or students themselves?
Well, I was thinking because some parents won't be comfortable, or students as well won't be comfortable doing this because it might be invading their privacy, we could probably send out a consent form to see if students are okay with it and are not, and maybe there could be an alternative for students that have recently been caught and aren't allowed to do the urinalysis testing. We can do a hair follicle thing or even blood testing if we really had to.
Okay, I wasn't even aware you could do that. That's great, very good. Okay, and who else might you involve in this besides, I'm assuming, the schools, and who else?
We can also involve maybe the police department because it happens a lot outside of school, and that is something that they can handle better than the schools can.
Great, okay, thank you.
For kids that violate the smoking ordinance or a school policy on that, what do you think would be more effective to prevent that behavior in school? Would it be in school discipline, or do you think it would be better if law enforcement was involved and the kids had to go to court?
For in school, no offense to Mr. Emerson, but it doesn't work as effectively as I think police officers would. So maybe law enforcement could get involved, and I feel like that would help a lot more.
Can you think of any ways that an organization like Full Circle Restorative Justice could help?
Maybe they could put more. I don't really know what those organizations are, but I think they're advertisement for this, right? Kind of, or just like education for.
It gives a way for a person who's been caught doing something wrong to remedy that situation in a meaningful way, rather than getting suspended from school or sent before a court. So it gives a maybe a more meaningful outcome for the person who's been doing the vaping.
For the person that you could do counseling for them if they need it, and that would help, I instead of just getting them in trouble right away. Maybe that could help them if they're struggling with addiction and they need help to talk to someone about it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Our next contestant is Danny McGrath.
My name is Danny McGrath, and I wrote about how we don't have a student representative on the school board. We need a strong student representative on the school board, and to achieve this, I would go to the school board and exercise my First Amendment to ask them to start a petition to get a student representative approved. The school board consists of community volunteers, and a student representative is a vital connection for the student body in which they make decisions for. So.
All right, yeah, give her a round of applause.
Hi, Danny. Good job. Do you think there should be criteria for students to run for the school board? And if so, what type of criteria might you consider?
Yeah, I think there should be, I do think there should be a criteria, and I think some of the research I've done says that, you know, like, they need to be a responsible student that parents and teachers and the student body trusts, and they have to have an exceptional academic performance. And I also think that they should be obviously in high school, maybe junior or senior year, and I think that that could potentially count as some sort of high school credit. Not really sure what credit that would count as, but I think that that should count as some sort of like step towards graduating high school. So.
Hi there, very good. I speak before a lot of meetings like this at the town government or city government level, so I understand this. How would you prepare if you were one of these representatives to speak before a school board or a town trustees or something like that? How would you educate yourself on what the issue is that night and what you'd like to say about it?
So preparing for like people gathering to be able to elect a student representative and to train a student representative.
I'm thinking that if you're actually doing this and there's something of interest that's on an agenda that night, how would you find out more about it so that you can be informed before you make your view known?
Right. I think that with the research I've already done, it kind of just comes down to kind of figuring out which students are the most reliable students and which are the most responsible and have the best academic performance.
Thank you.
If a student was elected, what would you foresee the term limit being? How long would that student be on the board?
I was kind of thinking it sort of is, it kind of depends on like, you know, what year in school they are. If they're juniors, maybe like their whole junior year. If they're seniors, maybe 2 seniors could split that and it could both count as an extra credit or some sort of extracurricular, and maybe they could serve for like just a semester or you know, the whole year if that's what the school board decides is necessary.
Anybody else? All right, give her a round of applause, please.
And our final contestant in round 3, Paige Landers.
Hi, my name is Paige Landers, and the problem I'm addressing today is youth vaping and drug problems. We need to put an end to the teenage vaping problem in Chaffee County, and in order to do this, I would gather a group of adults that a lot of people trust, and in the back, Miss Yates. I used to get in a lot of trouble, so I'm gonna like tear up. She helped me through a lot of it, and I'm here today because she motivated me to get it together. So I think that she could really help people that are going down the wrong path. And then I know a lot of people in my life and other people's lives that would get a group together and help the people that want to change. And a lot of my friends and have been getting into vaping, just like Morgan said, and it's been really hard. My sister was getting into it, and I believe I've helped her. I hope I did, and it was just really hard to see her getting into it, but I'm really glad to see that she's not anymore, and I'm really proud of her. And she's a junior. And then I would also ask the school board to install vape detectors in the doorways of the school, because between 2019 and now, the teenage vaping, just the teenage, not adults, the percentage of them vaping has gone up almost 50% or over 50% since 2019. And I know it's my civic responsibility to protect the teens of Chaffee County by notifying the school board of what is going on and how to prevent it.
All right.
Hi, Paige. It's obviously a personal topic and very important to talk about. I imagine a lot of vaping takes place outside of the classroom, though, doesn't it? Or is it going on in the classroom? What do you think?
I know a lot of people will go skip classes, or in the morning will go to bathrooms, and I know it happens outside of school, and I think that another solution to that would be like telling the parents, if you're aware of it. I know you don't want to go behind that friend's back or whatever, but I think it's safest for them to know. And I know that you could also influence them to stop and like explain how bad it is for you. And
okay, so some education would help.
Yeah.
That's different than ratting people out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Paige, thank you. It sounded like you got some help from an adult on this issue and some different things. Do you have any ideas from that experience where there could be peer support, meaning maybe student groups or anything that kids could help each other with this issue?
I think that in, I know 6th, 7th, and 8th, at least in my school, has health, and I think that talking to Miss Irvine or whatever your counselor is, I think that talking to them, and I would totally make a group, and I know lots of people would join to help influence the people who are vaping to stop, and maybe just like invite them, be like, if you want to talk about it, or if you want to like come in and talk to just us, no adults, to do it and to see if you can help.
Do you have any contact with adults who became addicted to tobacco through vaping? Has it been around long enough that there are any adults out there who could come and speak with classrooms of high school students?
One of my best friend's dads got addicted to vaping. I mean, it's not been around for that long, but he just recently in the past year stopped vaping. And I think that I'd have contact with him, I could get it from her. And I think that would totally work, to even with just the kid groups or the adults, to help say what helped him stop, what motivated him, and yeah.
Thank you.
Another round of applause. Oh, the passion. Love it.
All right. That concludes round 3. We have our 7 finalists. The judges have their work cut out for them. They'll be tabulating first, second, and third. The top 3, of course, win cash prizes and move on to the state competition on May the 19th. I want to thank Heather over here, Maggie with the chamber. Where's Maggie at, running around? Thank you all so much for putting this on. People talk about kids. I don't know if you've heard this. I'll never need this later on in life. Why am I studying geometry? You know, something like that. Pick a subject. This is one, civics, that you will use later on in life. I hope you do. An informed and educated populace is the thing that our country needs. So hopefully you will continue on in civics. I'm a big fan. I'm glad you're here. How many people want to see the answers to all the questions we had? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I knew that was a big deal. I want the answers. They're tabulating it again. This has been fun for me. Thank you, Heather, for having me out. I've always wanted to be a game show host. I auditioned for Wheel of Fortune host in 1988. I really did. Pat Sajak, remember back in the day, he was pretty hot, right? Or at least the show was pretty, he's not that good looking of a guy. The show was very hot. He was on in the afternoon, on in the evening, and then he got a late night talk show host on ABC. He had a talk show. No one remembers that, okay. So they're going to replace him in the afternoon. I went through a process. It's a neat story, I'll tell you sometime. But this is as close as I've gotten to it right here. So thank you all very much for coming out. The judges will tabulate. The next time you see me, it'll be third, second, and first. Heather?
All right. So as they're going to go ahead and finish that up, I want to go ahead and recognize every one of these lovely souls for writing an essay, showing up, all the things. So first of all, let's give them all another round of applause. And I'm going to call them up by name, and they're each going to receive a certificate of achievement from us and the National Civics Bee and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation. And there's also another portion of the U.S. Chamber Civics that I'll mention here in a moment. Tito, Zachary, is it Leon or Leon?
I don't care.
Give this man a round of applause. Thank you. Matt and Barnaby. Mason Young. I'm so proud of them. They're like, who is this lady? She's crazy. Mason Emelson. Carly Shepard. Emmett Hockman. Grady Wingfield. He's like, Andy Quillico. She'll give me a hug. I should have had that ready. Yes. Jaden Depew. Joseph Drexler. He's back here. My kids are grown. This is fun. Landon, is it LaBonta or LaBunta? LaBonta. Neither one of them was right. Landon. Sarah Coates. Thank you. Jamie Knob. Jenna Shepard. I had to make sure that the siblings didn't sit next to each other. She's so cute. Danny McGrath. Maya Lyle. Evelyn Leon. Morgan Arnold. Awesome. Paige Landers. all of you, don't ever give up on yourself. Fight for what you believe in and do it in the right way. Amen? All right. How are we doing, judges? Okay. I love that Blake's so smart.
Oh, I just want our judges are working hard. I want to thank those judges once again. Blake Bennett, manager at ACA Products. Merrill Bergen, president, Truth Has a Voice Foundation. Libby Fay, mayor of the great town of Buena Vista. Amber Gaston, broker associate, Full Circle Real Estate Group. And Dean Morgan, chief of police for the town of Buena Vista. Thank you guys very much for giving your time here tonight. I want to also thank our sponsors for making this evening very special. Sangre de Cristo Electric Association and High Country Bank. The Buena Vista Chamber of Commerce wants to thank their partners as well. Art Valley Voice, League of Women Voters, and Heart of the Rockies Radio. Moms and dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, thank you for coming out and making your children available for the National Spelling Bee. It ought to be a hoot. May 19th in Denver, the state competition that's coming up. And I look forward to hearing from the 3 of the 20 below me here that are going to be making that trip. All right. And again, thank you so much for coming out. And if I mispronounced a name, my apologies. I try real hard. My last name's Ridenauer. Like you're going to get in a car and ride for an hour. Never been pronounced right. Ergo, Dan R. Just cut out with that stuff, you know what I mean? My fraternity brothers back in the day, they didn't want to learn my name, so they started calling me Dan R. And radio, something short, sweet, easy to remember. Okay, it works. It's hard to mispronounce R. So again, my apologies if that indeed happened. The Surf Hotel, beautiful property here on South Main in Buena Vista. Thank you all for your hospitality. Sound guy up here, thank you. I was turning off your mic more than anything, right? To come up here. 1, 2, 3, who's going to Denver? Right? How much cash money are we throwing at you here? $500 for first place, $250 for second place, $125 for third place. Well, I'm going to hit one of you up for a loan as soon as this is over, right? $20 to get me back to Poncha Springs. That's all I need. A little low on gas.
Oh, I did have an announcement. I had an announcement. Don't know what made me think of this. So we're going to need more volunteers next year because Heather did a lot this year, and with a team, it is just going to be so much better. And we've experienced all the bugs. So I know the League of Women Voters is all in, and that's amazing. But if you really enjoyed this and you want to help out next year, unless you have a child and there's a conflict of interest, the kids who participated this year, not the 8th graders, because of course they're moving on, but they will be able to participate again next year also. And yes, we will do it again if we get invited back by the U.S. Chamber. So anyway, just think about that. If that's something you might want to participate in, I'm really easy to find at the Chamber. And if you just want to shoot me an email and say, I'm interested in maybe talking to somebody about helping out next year. It was a really learning curve, and it was a ton of fun though. You guys were a blessing. I mean, this was so much fun. This part was a lot of fun. All right.
The tabulations continue.
We're almost
So
there.
here it is, 1988, Nashville. I'm in radio there, and they have a national call in Nashville to take over the Wheel of Fortune afternoon program. I had hair down to my belt. And I said, why not? I throw on a sports coat. I get there at this convention center, hundreds, most of them TV guys. You know, the hair, they're all kid dolls. Hi, how are you? Hey, how are you? And I show up, you know, hey, how you doing? Peace. They get 10 of us at a time in a room with 4 or 5 producers right there. Step out, say your name. Hi, I'm there. Step back. They come in, okay, thank you for coming, thank you for coming, thank you for coming, thank you for coming. The rest of you go to the next room. And that continued throughout the afternoon. Our crowd got smaller, and the producers got fewer. I made it out of the a little bit of brag. I just can't believe this happened. I made it to the final 2, and it was just one executive producer and me and this other guy, right? And he sat there and looked at me. I just can't see you standing next to Vanna. It was an experience, but that's a true story. I mean, we got it, the other guy and I were looking at it. He was a TV guy with all the hair and everything. And again, my hair was all the way down to my rear. To have a guy sit there and just stare at you up and down and then go, I just can't see you standing next to Vanna. The guy who got Rolf Bernerschka, you got to be a heck of a football fan. He was a San Diego Charger kicker, place kicker. He got the gig. Oh well.
I'm just wrapping up a couple things. Can you say another joke or something?
I only tried out for one talk show. I don't have anything.
See if there's any questions in the audience.
Any question? Who knew the answer to number 8 in round 2? That's still bugging. You know, trying to remember all this stuff. It's a lot of it came back. I think I knew, because I love politics. I tell people politics and football are my 2 spectator sports. I really enjoy both of them. It was from 1972. Richard Nixon won that election in a landslide, the biggest landslide ever in a presidential election. I had a teacher, 7th grade teacher. I was 12 in 1972. If anyone's doing math. And just got hooked on it. I remember watching the returns, and ever since then, I'm just civics and government and how we work from our school board. Real politics happens at the school board level. Then you get up to the city councils and town trustees and our county commissioners. Bill, Capitol Hill. That's how a lot of people learn about civics, which is good. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? That's English, but same thing. And that's why I have a passion for civics, for government, for politics. And that's why I was really excited to take part in this. Get young people, hopefully you'll keep on and know how decisions are made around you. How's it done? What's the process? Get involved in that process one way or the other. Look at this. We got big checks. When we say your name, come on up here, if you would.
Is my photographer ready?
Photog. All right. Is this one, done? Huh? Oh, you have them on the check already. 3rd place goes to Andy Quilligo.
Congrats, Andy.
2nd place. Right. Here we go. In 2nd place, Maya Lyle. And our 1st place finisher. I'd vote for him tomorrow. That's the one I remembered. I know. Here we go. 1st place, Joseph Drexler. Good luck to all 3 in Denver, May 19th. Very impressive. Little photo op.
We also have some trophies from the United States Chamber of Commerce Foundation. So you'll go home with these as well, and we'll talk more about how no money, and Denver. Okay? So congratulations, huge round of applause. Maya? It's hard to read these things. Actually, it's just my nose. And Joseph, congratulations, you guys! Thank you for your participation and getting all your forms back to me in a timely fashion. And the three parents of these guys will talk, because I got to talk about all the details of this. But thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Thank you to our sponsors, my judges, you are lifesavers, and I thank you so much for doing this. Kiddos.